Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm sharing my simple Portugal exploration. Now we are heading to Queluz, where one of the famous palaces is located. Queluz is a city within the Sintra municipality on the Portuguese Riviera in the Lisbon metropolitan area of Portugal. It is famed as the home of Queluz National Palace, the 18th century pleasure palace of the Portuguese royal family, as well as a notable institutions like the Portuguese School of Equestrian Art. The National Palace of Queluz charms whether for its imposing nature or the sheer exuberance of its architectural details, closely bound up with the lives of three generations of the Portuguese royal family and the scene of intense emotions. The palace furthermore reflects the evolution in the taste and styles over different periods, moving from the Baroque to the Rococo and onto Neoclassicism. The palace was built as a summer retreat for Don Pedro de Bragança, future King Pedro III, and was one of the last large Rococo-style buildings erected in Europe. It was used as a discreet site to imprison Queen Maria I during her dementia, and especially after the death of King Pedro in 1786. After fire struck the Palace of Ajuda in 1794, the Palace of Queluz became the official residence of a Portuguese Prince Regent, the future King João VI, and his family, and so it remained until the royal family fled to Brazil in 1807 due to the French invasions. Construction of the palace began in 1747 by the architect Matheus Vicente de Oliveira. Despite being much smaller, it is often called the Portuguese Versailles. From 1826 onwards, the palace slowly fell out of favor with Portuguese sovereigns. After a serious fire in 1934, which destroyed the inside of the palace, the monument was extensively restored and is now open for public. One of the wings of the Palace of Queluz, the Queen Maria Pavilion, built between 1785 and 1792 by architect Manuel Caetano de Sousa, is currently an exclusive guest room for foreign heads of state visiting Portugal. It has been classified as a national monument since 1910. The palace has its own origin in the old Queluz manor house, erected by the D. Cristóvão de Moura, the first Marquis Castelo Rodrigo, which helped consolidate Portugal and its overseas territories under the Spanish crown. Initially conceived as a summer residence, it becomes a privileged leisure and entertainment space for the royal family, who permanently set up residence from 1794 until their departure for Brazil in 1807 during the French invasions. Inside the palace, splendorous settings for devotions and private rooms follow each other in close connection with the outside world. Formerly the setting for parties, balls, theater, concerts, games, and equestrian and fireworks shows, the refined atmosphere of the palace's golden age is reflected in the gilded wood carving paper, mesh works, walls lined with mirrors or paintings, and sparkling chandeliers of great decorative effect, as well as the heritage on display, most of it from royal collections. Close to Sintra and Lisbon, the National Palace of Queluz and its historic gardens are one of the most notable examples of harmony between Portuguese landscape and palatial architecture. They illustrate the atmosphere and experiences of the royal family and the Portuguese court in the second half of the 18th century and early 19th century, but also shed light on the evolution of taste during this period, marked by Baroque, Rococo, Neoclassical style, harkening back to the moments of historical significance during the transitions from old regime to liberalism. Since the palace was first inhabited in the reign of King Pedro III and Queen Maria I, a variety of recreational activities has taken place, partly as the result of the great versatility of the spaces, which stage and arm for different functions and events, usually the celebration of religious festivities and royal birthdays. Queluz is often attended by the court for serenades, horseback riding, and firework shows on the occasion of São João and São Pedro festivities in June. And the birthday of King Pedro III on the July 5th, most of the festivities take place in the gardens and includes ephemeral architecture, fireworks, equestrian games and bullfights on the horseback and on foot, among other amusements, especially between 1752 and 1786, and music was always center stage. Founded in 1979, the Portuguese School of Equestrian Arts is based at the National Palace of Queluz Gardens and aims to promote teaching, practice, and dissemination of traditional Portuguese equestrian arts. It recovers the tradition of the Picaria Real, the Equestrian Academy of Portuguese 18th century court, and exclusively uses Alto Real branded Lusitano horses. The National Palace of Queluz was classified as a national monument in 1910 and is part of the network of European royal residences since 2013.